Good morning and welcome to Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Kim Best, your host.
And I'm Wayne Alley, and I'm not your host. I'm a co-host. I'm somebody. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for joining us this morning. It is Tuesday, January the 29th, and the month is almost over, Wayne.
It is, and today will be Tuesday, January 29th, all day.
Yes, it will.
So make the most of it. Yeah, the month is almost over.
It certainly is.
How about that?
We have some great people on the show today.
That we do. We will be hearing from Wages. We have, of course, MARLEE and Brownie will be with us. Brownie Doss and MARLEE.
Ray.
MARLEE Ray will be with us. Anyway, some great information coming out of Wages there. Also, we have, you talked to Lieutenant Colonel Birch.
I did. I talked with Lieutenant Colonel Paul Birch from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. He is the commander of the 4th Operations Support Squadron, and he is coming to talk about an exercise program that Seymour Johnson is participating in. It's called the Razor Talon, and you don't want to miss that.
Also, Kim spoke with someone from, you talked with Communities in Schools.
I did. I talked with the Executive Director, SELENA BENNETT, with Communities in Schools, and she's telling you what all they've done this past year and what the goals are for this upcoming year, and you may be surprised.
There's so much going on.
Oh my goodness, yes it is.
Schools.
It is growing by leaps and bounds.
It is, it is. Well, let's see now. Today, guess who's having a birthday today?
Who in the world?
That's right. Oprah.
Oprah's having a birthday.
Oprah's having a birthday. Oprah Winfrey having a birthday. She is 58 years today.
Is she really?
Yeah, she was born on Tom Selleck's birthday.
Well, how about that?
He's having a birthday too. He is 67 today. Magnum is 67.
PI.
Can you believe that? I don't know. It's just never been the same since he shaved. You know, he got rid of that mustache.
Yes, it did.
Anyway, I really...
He's on a great show now. He's on Blue Bloods.
I know, and I really like that. He's such a talented actor.
Yes, he is.
I've always been a fan of Tom Selleck. I've also always been a fan of Ann Gillian. She is 61 years today. 61. The actress is. Also a birthday for Ed Burns. Edward Burns is 44, and Judy Norton-Taylor is 54. I believe she was on Little House.
Could be.
Some years ago. Little House, she's 54 years today.
Could be.
Also coming up, we'll be talking about, we'll have an almanac for you, things that happened on this day, some things you might find interesting, and some things you might want to sleep through. The Waltons, that's what I meant to say.
Was on the
I meant to say the Waltons, yeah. I always got those mixed up.
We don't know which character she was?
She was the one that played by Judy Norton-Taylor. She was very... Mary Ellen. I always got those warm and fuzzy programs all mixed up because I didn't watch them all that much because I'm not a warm and fuzzy kind of guy, you know what I mean?
You like the ones about history, don't you?
I love the ones about history and
history buff.
That's right, and I'm, you know, Westerns. I love Westerns. What did you like on TV when you were growing up?
I liked sitcoms. I liked a lot of the sitcoms. It's hard for me to remember back now.
Yeah.
Bewitched was a big one. I Dream of Jeannie.
Yes.
I like all those little fun ones where you just sort of enjoyed it and then you could move on about your day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
just a
some
few
that you
little 30 minutes to relax.
Couldn't take too seriously.
No.
And they were funny.
They were very funny.
Yeah.
Bewitched was a great one though. I did watch that a lot as a child.
Yeah, I liked Good Times and Bewitched and
yeah, I loved Good Times. That
Good
was
Times
was
great and a
lot
of those
the next J.R. Ewing, Larry Hagman, was on Bewitched for a period of time. I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh yeah, he played Colonel Tony something.
Yes, he did.
Can't remember his last name, but yeah, he was he was main star. He and
That's right.
Barbara Eden.
That's exactly right.
Oh yes,
That's
Barbara
exactly
Eden.
Right.
Anyway, and she is still a very pretty lady.
Oh yes, and very active. She's
yes,
still
she is.
Busy as she can be.
Just very, very busy. And Larry Hagman was Mary Martin's son. Mary Martin.
I just learned that not long ago.
He was Mary Martin's son. She was a Broadway actress who starred on TV as Peter Pan.
That's exactly right.
All right.
That's right. We want to remind you that the Paramount Theater is going to be celebrating their 5th anniversary gala. It's coming up. It's the celebration of the reconstruction of the Paramount Theater. Let's see. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years already.
It has.
They are going to have tickets available at the Paramount Theater. They're $15, and they're expecting a sellout crowd, so get your tickets if you're interested in attending on February the 8th at 7 p.m. It'll last 2 hours. They're going to really feature a lot of your local entertainment here in our community that has used the theater throughout the last 5 years.
Love
I think you
the
will
Paramount.
be surprised.
Yes, love the Paramount. This day, 1884, a very important day in the history of patents being issued in the U.S. Patent number 292,504, issued to a gentleman for his invention of the locomotive cow squirter. It was a device installed on a locomotive boiler that could be used to squirt hot water on cattle that might be standing on the railroad. And that was on this day in 1884, when apparently cattle on the railroad was a big problem, apparently.
Apparently. My goodness. Well, let's see. What else is going on?
Well, Wayne Community College's Business and Industry Center offering customized training program. It's a program at Wayne Community College providing education, training, and support services for new, expanding, and existing business and industry in Wayne County. The goal is to foster and support three key aspects of your company's well-being. That would be job growth, technology investment, and productivity enhancement. If you'd like to know more about this, and it's a fantastic program, talk to the folks in the Business and Industry Center at Wayne Community College.
Fantastic resource to have right here in our community.
Yeah.
Avante Vocal Ensemble is coming to Mount Olive College.
Oh boy.
On Saturday, February the 2nd at 7:30 p.m. at the Assembly Hall on 207 Wooten Street in Mount Olive. They are hailed for their extraordinary vocal gymnastics, amazing tone, and overall excellence. There's 8 singers of the Avante group. They perform a unique repertoire ranging from the traditional choral works to the cutting-edge style, very much like the Manhattan Transfer, if you remember them.
Yes.
With a historically wide range of songs, this is an a cappella group that is routinely praised for its high standards of musicianship and unique arrangements. This event is open to the public. The admission is $10 per person, and it's general admission. If you have questions, you can call Stuart Burnham at 919-658-7166. That is Saturday, February the 2nd, Mount Olive College.
I love the Manhattan Transfer.
I did too.
They were just fantastic.
They were great.
And in fact, they're still touring, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure it's the same original members, but they were just fantastic. In fact, somewhere I have one of their albums.
I know I did. I don't know if I still do, but I know I did at one point in time.
Well, it's an anniversary, or it would have been if he had lived. 1958, Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward were married. And one of the true love stories of Hollywood, which never really had a love story to talk about, but Newman and Woodward were married until he died just a couple of years ago. 1958, that's a long marriage. In 1964, in history's longest basketball game, Boone, North Carolina High School.
Well, how about that?
Yeah, Boone defeated Angier High School. It was Boone over Angier, and it took 13 overtimes.
Oh, my gracious.
The final score was 56-54. Not a very high-scoring game. You would have thought it would have been higher.
Did they say how long the whole game lasted?
Just that it went for 13 overtimes.
Wow.
All right.
How about that?
How about that?
Well, are you interested in Simply Super Seuss-abration?
Pardon me?
Simply Super Seuss, like Dr. Seuss.
Oh.
Abration.
Oh.
Saturday, February the 9th at 10 a.m. at Wayne County Public Library. They're having something called Family Heart Valentine's Party, and I guess Dr. Seuss is the star. Saturday, February the 9th at 10 a.m. The cost is $10. All kinds of supplies are going to be supplied. Create a cute Valentine's Day craft and pack a handmade Valentine's card. It's for ages 4 and up. If you have information, or if you would like information, you can call 736-3300. I guess it's a Dr. Seuss themed Valentine's party.
One of my favorite stories about Dr. Seuss is that he not only wrote children's stories, he also wrote some very interesting, and I mean interesting, adult books or stories as well.
Did he?
We won't go there. But one of my favorite stories about Dr. Seuss is that he was a good friend with a guy named BENNETT Cerf. And BENNETT Cerf was a publisher out of New York City, was the head of a big publishing house there. And Cerf went to him one day and he said, look, I want to challenge you. I'll bet you can't write an entire book using 50 words or less.
An entire book.
An entire book. The Cat in the Hat. That's it.
So that's why it's got a lot of the same words repeated over and over and over.
And it's a very small, very short book, but it's a book.
That's right.
The Cat in the Hat, and Surf lost the bet.
Well,
That
my
was the
goodness.
result of it. That's one of my
And that's
favorites.
the story of the Cat in the Hat book and why it was written.
That's right. And Seuss, actually, it says Seuss, and everybody says Dr. Seuss, but that was actually his middle name, Theodore Seuss Geisel, but he pronounced it differently. He pronounced it Seuss.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well, how in the world did we start moving to call it Seuss?
Well, because of the way it's spelled, I think. It just looks like Seuss.
Yes.
You know. But anyway, enough of that. A very little trivial information there. All right, for what it's worth. What else do we have? Coming up, I'll tell you what, let's get to the program.
I think so.
You think it's time for that?
Well, I think it is. We're going to go hear from Wages, I do believe.
Wages comes up first.
And then Seymour Johnson Air Force Base.
That's up next on WGTV Today. This morning we're talking again with Dr. Marley Ray and with Brownie Doss. They're from Wages, the Wayne Action Group for Economic Solvency. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, you spoke with us a few days ago about Meals on Wheels, or
Right.
it's known as the, what is it again?
Wages Nutrition Program for the Elderly.
Wages Nutrition Program for the Elderly.
Right.
Well, that makes sense.
Commonly known as Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels.
And the congregate meals.
And the congregate meals.
Right.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about another component of the senior division. We also have programs that are with the Corporation for National and Community Service. And those three programs are foster grandparents, senior companions, and RSVP. And we have all three of those programs at Wages.
Okay. Describe them,
Okay?
the three
Okay.
programs. All right,
You
go ahead.
one.
Take the
well,
first
they
one.
They were all part of Wages early on. The foster grandparents and senior companions are sister programs.
Mm-hmm.
They involve senior volunteers who are 55 and older.
Although
they're-
55 is not very senior.
That's
Oh, no.
no.
But that's good.
That is the age limit. There is an income limit as well.
Mm-hmm.
They receive a small stipend in return for giving back to their community as volunteers. So
Okay.
the senior companions work with older adults in their homes, helping them to stay at home and stay independent as long as possible. The foster grandparents work with special needs children, and they are located primarily in our schools and daycares, and yeah.
And so it makes a huge difference because those two programs are sort of two-pronged. We are working with the seniors who are the volunteers in the program, who receive training, who receive some health benefits. We go on field trips, recognitions. It's a great group. So the foster grannies, as they are sometimes known,
Right.
and the senior companions. That's one component of the program. Then the other piece are the people who receive those services. And again, all the foster grandparents is with the children, but the senior companion is giving back to a senior in our community. And the stories and the difference that it makes in our community is tremendous. You know, when somebody says, my spouse has dementia and I want to be able for her to stay at home, but I need some time to go to the bank, to grocery store, whatever. And by having a senior companion there, it gives not only the person who's receiving that volunteer service, but some family members a respite. So it makes a huge difference.
It really does.
Wages is an organization that's been around a number of years.
1964.
And continues to do great work here in the community. What would you, if you had to pick one or two things people didn't know about Wages or misconceptions, what would you say would be a common misconception of Wages?
Well, I think that people sometimes know individual programs. Like they will say, oh, I know about Head Start, and I'm familiar with Head Start. And they may also know Meals on Wheels.
Right.
But they may not know that both of those programs are administered through the very same agency.
Oh.
And we also have programs. One that we are really proud of is our weatherization program. I think it started in like the mid-70s, so we've been doing it a long time. But in that program, we go into homes of, after having an assessment done, of homes who need energy efficiency measures put in. So they can insulate or do duct work, and the outcome is their utility bill goes down. And the nice thing about it all being in the same agency is just yesterday we had a senior companion from that program, a staff member from that program, refer somebody to weatherization.
Right.
We have our families in Early Head Start referring people to other programs. So,
And it's an umbrella agency. I think one thing that a lot of people don't understand is that all the programs do operate somewhat independently of each other, because
Right.
they all have their own standards, their own funding sources, their own rules that they have to follow. So we can't really transfer money from one program to the other, which I think is more unique, because there are, you know, other agencies that maybe put a certain amount in this program this year, but if they need to move it over here, but that's not possible with our programs.
Right.
And it's a great advantage to smaller programs to have the benefit of all the IT, the
resources
the
that we can provide.
resources, because you pool your resources to provide those things for all the programs.
And we have a board of directors. Most of our individual programs either have advisory councils or boards for that particular program. So we have people all over the community who are serving on the Senior Companion Board or the Foster Grandparent Board or the Self-Sufficiency Board or the Head Start Policy Council. But we also have a board of directors over wages. And so we have a very committed group of people in our community passionate about the kinds of programs and services that are needed, that are out there helping us always stay in tune with what's going on, what do we need to do, what's the latest. An example of that would be, as you know, we just got information on the new community health assessment that was done in collaboration with the hospital and the health department. Well, not just those two agencies, but now we benefit from that, because we can take that data, take that information, and say, here's something we can do to help work on an identified need.
As Meals on Wheels, the grandparents program, these programs are so important in other ways as well. I know Meals on Wheels, you don't like to think about it, but you're also helping people who may have a problem overnight.
Right.
When you deliver the meal the next day, if somebody's fallen or if there's an illness.
Right.
Otherwise, no one would know about it
Right.
in many cases.
Right. We always say it's a meal and much more,
A meal and much more.
because it's really the visit of the volunteers is extremely important. A lot of those seniors are there by themselves all day, so this is the only person they see.
Right.
And then if it's also a check on that person, if they have, like you said, if they've fallen or whatever, so we keep information on everybody, and we follow up and we check, refer to other agencies, we call family members, we, you know, call 911 if we need to.
Well, it's wonderful, and that's only a couple or three of the total number of
And programs.
Right.
Our newest
Programs that you
program
do, yeah.
is RSVP, and we've sort of mentioned that before, but
Yeah.
that one's a little different than any other program at Wages in that this program recruits volunteers that are 55 and over to work with children of military families, and also to work with the nutrition program. But this is open to anybody in the community who would like to give back, who would like to work with a nutrition program. There's no income guideline, there's no time guideline. It's just 55 is the only guideline. So we're going to be out there heavily recruiting to get some new volunteers to support those two programs. That's our newest venture.
All right, excellent, RSVP. So how does someone get involved with Wages? and become involved as a volunteer or otherwise?
Well, the easiest thing to do there is to call wages, which the number is 919-734-1178, and just ask about any one of those programs, and the receptionist can direct you to them. We also have things listed on the Volunteer Wayne website that the United Way sponsors.
Right.
So people can go there and see some of the kinds of activities. An activity that we have coming up that will take place before our audience gets to see this program is the MLK celebration activity. So we have people involved in things like that. We have a Caring Hearts banquet coming up in February
Right.
for our senior companions. So we have things going on throughout the year where we're always looking for some extra help.
All right. Wages, 601 Royal Avenue,
Right.
That's the administration building.
734-1178.
Right.
And then there's a directory there, and you hit whatever number you want.
Or dial
department you want.
0, and the receptionist will get you in the right place.
And she's a very nice lady.
Yes.
She's a very nice lady.
Yes.
I speak with her all the time.
Yes, you do. Well, let's give them a little plug. Margaret Davis comes in the morning, and Bob Bass is there in the afternoon.
There you go.
And they'll help you in any way they can.
And they do a great job.
They
do.
All right.
They
Dr.
do.
Marley
Thank you.
Ray, thank you so much. Brownie Doss, always great to see you folks, and
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for
Wayne.
having
Thank
us.
you.
I'd like to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Paul Birch. He is the commander of the 4th Operations Support Squadron. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Kim. Thank you.
I'm glad to have you on the show and to hear about this interesting program you all have happening at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. Can you tell me more about it?
Absolutely. I'm here today to talk about the Razor Talon exercise. Razor Talon is a joint large force exercise. So the joint part of that means we bring together all the military services, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, and maybe some other federal agencies. And the large force exercise means we put a lot of airplanes together in the same piece of air. We put a lot of ships together on the ocean, and we bring soldiers and Marines together on the ground, and we all practice a mission together.
So, Razor Talon, how did that name come about?
Well, as with any good exercise, you have to start with a name, and we had to find something that wasn't in use by another part of the military.
Right.
And then from that, the emphasis is on combat training and getting us ready to go into that next generation of warfare, or the next thing over the horizon. So the idea is sharpening our talons, getting us ready to go.
Well, that all fits perfectly.
It does.
How is Razor Talon beneficial to Seymour Johnson Air Force Base?
Well, Razor Talon puts the 4th Fighter Wing, the 916th Air Refueling Wing, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in Goldsboro at the middle of something that's very important happening in the Department of Defense. And that's the recognition that in a way that we haven't been challenged in the past several years, all our military services are going to have to come together. They're going to have to be effective at integrating with each other's capabilities and working as a team. So Razor Talon is a focal point of that effort. It helps us practice something that's called air-sea battle, which is a fancy Pentagon term and a Department of Defense term for making sure that the Air Force and the Navy and the other services, we can all work together so that we're not stovepipes, so that things are integrated. It's a great opportunity for this community to be at the focal point of something so important.
How will it directly affect our community?
Well, the good news is you're not going to see a lot of day-to-day changes in the way flying operations happen. The beauty of Razor Talon is that we execute it from a whole bunch of different bases that are widely dispersed. We bring everyone together in the same piece of sky, but that's out over the ocean. So the average person in Goldsboro
May not
wouldn't
even know.
wouldn't even know that Razor Talon is going on, because it's going to look like regular flying that day. And that's good for the families too.
Right.
Normally, to get this kind of training, we would deploy out west somewhere where there was a big empty piece of airspace, like over Las Vegas, over Nevada. With Razor Talon, you go to work like it's a regular day. You go out, you get this great training, but then you come home, and after you debrief and get the lessons learned, you go back to your family. And there's almost no impact to the community other than getting the benefits of having participated in something like that.
Well, most of us are not lucky enough to have a regular day of getting in an airplane
Sure, I
like you
understand.
all do, but that's fantastic. But tell me where it actually is taking place.
Okay, so the exercise players typically get together about 80 to 100 miles off the coast. We have a warning area out over the ocean that borders North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. And then we will we'll put the good guys on one side, and we'll put the pretend bad guys on another side, and then we'll fight in toward the coast. And then there are some target arrays where we will pretend, or we will actually, in the case of a bombing range, we'll pretend to strike targets in that area. And there's lots of scenarios you can set up. Sometimes the scenario will be rescue of someone who's been shot down behind enemy lines. So it's not always about going to bomb and things like that. But
total combat.
Exactly. It's the full spectrum of what the military can do.
How long would this last?
A Razor Talon vulnerability period, or VUL as we call it, is going to last for about 90 minutes, an hour and a half. We've typically done them on Thursdays or Fridays, and they happen about once a month right now. We're looking forward to our 24th iteration of Razor Talon in February.
So you've done this.
We have done this. This is not a new thing. And so that alone kind of shows you that the community is not going to be impacted other than the benefits of it. So
well, could you see this from the ground?
It would be challenging, simply because of the space it takes. If you were out on a naval ship 50 miles off the coast, you might get a great view. What we do is we have some technology that allows us to link all the players electronically. We have range training officers who, through radios and other means, can see everything that's happening. Unfortunately, a lot of that happens behind the closed doors of a vault, and so it's harder to invite people in. But it is certainly our intent to provide a picture of how a Razor Talon goes, and we would like to expand the opportunities for the public to view the exercise as well.
Yeah, it would be fascinating to be able to watch.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Do you know if there's other bases here in North Carolina that are also participating?
Well, of course, we've got the 4th Fighter Wing. We have the 916th Air Refueling Wing, and that's kind of like having two separate wings that can participate so fully in something is a great benefit, and that's right here in Goldsboro. Then we've got our joint partners. So Marines, naval assets at Cherry Point, Camp Lejeune, Beaufort and Beaufort, both of those have played. We've got units all the way down to Jacksonville, Florida, and all the way up the coast to Virginia and Maryland who come together and
participate. So this is not just North Carolina, this is the East Coast.
This is a full effort. Tanker units have come from as far away as Tennessee, and we've had our airborne warning and control system has flown out from Oklahoma to control the exercise. So this is a big deal. This has national reach and has global impact.
Well, we want to thank you all as a community for what you all do on a regular basis to protect us here locally, but also to protect us across the entire United States. We appreciate what you do, your hard work and all your efforts. And this Razor Talon exercise is just one more way that you are continuing to stay on top of things, stay ahead of the game, and keep us protected and prepared.
Kim, on behalf of the 4th Fighter Wing and Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, I want to thank the community for all the support they give us. It is no exaggeration to say that this is the most friendly state toward the military, and this is the most friendly town. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. We appreciate you being here and appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television, and we hope you've enjoyed learning more about the Razor Talon exercise with Seymour Johnson Air Force Base.
We're back on WGTV today. Thanks for being with us. And
and I am so glad that we're going to have representatives from Seymour Johnson, both the 916th Fighter Wing and the 4th Fighter Wing and the 916th
Air Refueling Wing.
Air Refueling Wing. They're going to be coming once a month to share things that are happening at Seymour Johnson and that our community would be interested in learning about.
You know, I continue to hear from anybody that's ever spent any time at Seymour Johnson what a great relationship we have between the community and the base. It is indeed, it's a fantastic relationship. We're very proud of Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. We're very proud of Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, and we're glad they're here.
And we're glad they feel that way, because you heard Lieutenant Colonel Birch saying the exact same thing.
That's right.
It's such a friendly community, so we were glad to hear him say that.
Well, and we appreciate the base very much.
Absolutely.
All right, Wayne County Reads is underway. We have talked a couple of times about the kickoff talk on Latino migration to North Carolina with Hannah Gill. There's also going to be a book discussion with Deborah Curl. Now she'll be on February 7th, Thursday, February 7th at noon at Wheel Auditorium at the Wayne County Public Library. And then on Tuesday the 12th, the video conference room at Moy Library at Mount Olive College, there will be a medicinal and native plants of the Carolinas discussion with Dr. Bullard. Dr. A.J. Bullard, who is probably one of the smartest guys I've ever met when it comes to recognizing and understanding plants and anything at all to do with things that grow in the soil. He's brilliant, and that's quite a discussion. You will not want to miss that. Medicinal and native plants of the Carolinas.
Nice. We have so many things going on right here in our community. We want to continue to share those with you and hope that you are learning from this and hope you find events and activities that you'd like to participate in. One opportunity being, do you like to play bingo?
Bingo!
That's right.
All right.
They are now offering bingo at the Herman Park Center with Goldsboro Parks and Recreation. It starts on Tuesday, February the 12th at 7 p.m. It'll last 2 hours at Herman Park Center. The Goldsboro Parks and Recreation will host this bingo every second and fourth Friday evenings from 7 to 9 p.m. For more information, you can contact Goldsboro Parks and Recreation to find out details. So every second and fourth Friday evening at 7 o'clock.
B12.
Bingo.
Yeah, bingo.
That's right.
That's right. Yes. All right. A social club.
Yes.
It's called the Sassy Seniors.
Yes, we've talked about that before. It's so cute.
It is. The Senior Center is a new social club called the Sassy Seniors. The purpose of the club is to make new friends and plan outings and events to enjoy together. They call themselves the Sassy Seniors. The Sassy Seniors' first event will be to go out to dinner together in February. Seniors 55 years, which
that's kind of
to
young.
some of us is not really senior, but anyway, I don't make the rules. 55 and older are invited to join. You do have to register in advance so they can give the restaurant the correct number of people coming and attending. If you want to join the Sassy Seniors on this particular outing, you can call Aaron at 705-1785. That will be, you need to do this before February 6th. Now, if you can't make it to dinner, the next meeting of the Sassy Seniors will be on Tuesday, February 12th at 5:30 at the Senior Center. Future plans will be made at that time. If you would like more information about this or just go ahead and register, call Aaron at 705-1785, 705-1785.
See if you can understand that. I think we
Oh,
need to talk about
sure.
it.
Wayne Services on Aging.
Yes.
Is that the one, this one right here?
I'm assuming all that goes together.
Okay, so the Social Security office hours will be held. They temporarily moved Social Security office over to the Senior Center for a short while there. The next one coming up will be February 11th at 10 a.m. until noon. The cost is free, of course, at the Wayne Services on Aging at the Senior Center. And from 10 till noon, Ethel Barnes, Public Affairs Specialist for the Social Security Administration, will hold office hours at the Senior Center for those unable to go to the Social Security office. She'll be available to meet with seniors and address any questions or concerns relating to any Social Security issues you may have. That's on February 11th.
There you go.
That's 2 weeks from today.
Well, on Wednesday, February the 6th, remember the Diabetes Part 1 seminar is taking place at Wayne Services on Aging as well. The cost is free. Takes place at 10:30 a.m. It'll be, let's see, Carolyn Robertson. She's an RN. She'll do Part 1 of the presentation on diabetes. The program will be held, of course, at the Senior Center. They'll also have a question and answer session that follows the program. The program is free and open to the public. Anyone can attend. For more information, you can contact Aaron at 919-705-1785.
Okay, on today's almanac, more from today's almanac. Elizabeth Taylor divorced her first husband, Conrad, this day, 1951.
Her first one.
You're right, Conrad Hilton.
Conrad Hilton. Wonder who that is.
I don't know, but he was fairly wealthy. She divorced him. The first members of the Baseball Hall of Fame inducted this day, 1936, including Ty Cobb and Babe Ruth. George Herman Babe Ruth inducted this day, 1936, Cooperstown, New York is where that happened. Also, this is the birth anniversary of one of my favorite actors, speaking of actors and acting, Mr. William Claude Duncanfield. W.C. Fields, he used, was his stage name. William Claude Duncanfield, better known as W.C. Fields, was born this day, 1880. Of course, Never Give a Sucker and Even Break was one of his biggest movies, but he made so many movies, including short movies. They call them shorts. He and Mae West.
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, I'm a little chickadee. Yeah. Well, so that's another big movie for him. Very funny guy. In fact, he was, tell you a story about W.C. Fields. One day between shots, between movie takes, I believe it was the fellow who played the father in Gone with the Wind. I can't remember his name, Thomas. He was in
Rex?
a W.C. Fields.
What was his name?
I can't recall his name, but anyway, he and W.C. Fields were in a movie together, and between takes, everybody was taking a break, and W.C. Fields was actually caught reading the Bible.
Really?
You wouldn't think, given
No.
his character now that he
Right.
often played was the slick shyster,
Yes.
that he would be caught reading the Bible. Well, he actually, Thomas walked over. W.C. Fields was standing there reading the Bible, and he asked him. He said, "What are you reading?" W.C. Fields looked up and said, "I'm looking for loopholes." Just constantly on.
Yes.
Constantly on.
Always in character.
Always in character. The man was brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. Also, a little-known singer. In fact, he had been quite popular, but there was a fellow that had a resurgence in popularity in 1977 after he appeared on the country music charts with a song by the name of Lucille.
Lucille, who was it?
This kid's name was Kenny Rogers.
There you go.
He became popular again. Hal Bynum, fellow, had written the song on a napkin while watching a couple argue at a Greyhound bus station in Toledo, Ohio. So
don't
Hal
ever
got
know.
together with Kenny and said, "Son, I got a song for you here." And he liked it and made it popular, and Rogers enjoyed a resurgence in popularity.
He certainly did. He
go.
was popular in his day. He really was. All right, I believe we have Communities in Schools coming up next with Executive Director SELENA Bennett. Hi, and welcome to Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Kim Best, your host. Joining me today is SELENA Bennett, Executive Director of Communities in Schools. Welcome to the show, SELENA.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come back on and to talk about our programs.
Well, we're glad you're going to be joining us on a regular basis now, coming to tell us detailed information on a regular basis, monthly, I believe,
Yes.
of what's happening with Communities in Schools and how this program continues to grow.
Yes, yes.
So January is a special month for your
It is.
program. Tell me more about that.
Well, you know the importance of having volunteers and mentors in schools. And our national and state office promote this. It's National Mentoring Month. And we have some activities going on in the county, in the schools where Communities in Schools has staff. And what we're trying to do is to let these people know how much we appreciate and value the time that they spend with our students in our school system.
Well, you have events that will be taking place throughout the month of January in honor of the National Mentoring Month.
That's
Tell me about
correct.
some of your events.
Well, just today, for example, there is a luncheon at Mount Olive Middle School, and all of the mentors that are from the local community who work with students at Mount Olive Middle, they will be there for a luncheon and a special program, and it's a chance for the school to say thank you for what they are doing. Later on in the month, we'll be doing the same thing at Goldsboro High School. We have approximately 30 to 35 mentors coming into Goldsboro High
Wow.
School on a regular basis.
That's fantastic.
And we're doing things a little differently with our luncheon that we're going to host at Goldsboro. We're having an opportunity to actually bring the mentees in with the mentors, and we're going to talk about, you know, what things have worked, what do you like about working with a mentor, how does this mentor help you to improve your academic skills? Because that's what it's all about. We're trying to build positive relationships with
Right.
students in an effort to help them be more successful.
Well, it sounds like you've got it developed and you're working to find out how you can continue to improve this program. And you told me earlier about a new program that you've offered here in the community called TAPS. Tell me what TAPS stands
yes,
for.
I am very excited about TAPS. TAPS, T-A-P-S, stands for Teens and Attorneys Partnership for Success. As you know, we run a teen court program, and kind of as an outgrowth of our teen court program and the great relationship that we have had with the Wayne County Bar Association and with the local district attorney's office, we wanted to offer a program in every high school where kids could learn more about the legal system. You know, what if you wanted to be an attorney? What if you want to know what the prosecuting attorney does? How do you prepare for a trial? So the Wayne County Bar Association has offered to have attorneys assigned to every high school. We've paired up a team of kids with a social studies or a civics teacher with at least 2 attorneys in every high school. And the end result in April will be that we will host some competition for some mock trials.
Oh, wow, how
Yes,
exciting.
yes, and this is something that the North Carolina Teen Court Association has sponsored for a number of years, as well as some other legal associations, but we wanted to do it locally, starting right here, and so just this Saturday we will have all of these teams coming to the courthouse for an afternoon workshop. Now,
This takes a lot of volunteers, it sounds like, here in
It
the
does.
community. These legal volunteers and these attorneys that are giving of their time.
That's exactly right. We had our first meeting with the attorneys back in December. We had 25 attorneys and a teacher from every high school in Wayne County that showed up. And that meeting was just for us to kind of throw out ideas. Shelby Benton from Benton Law Firm here in Goldsboro, she brought materials for the mock trial, gave us an opportunity. You know, this is a first-time affair, so we have to have a starting point. And we got together, a lot of excitement. There was so much energy in the room because these attorneys want to introduce high school students to the legal system, and it's a chance for them to learn about possible careers.
Absolutely.
Even if they don't want to be an attorney, what a great way to learn about the legal system and to begin to network in the local community.
Right, and to do it in such a creative way.
That's exactly
This
right.
is a program that can really give children an opportunity to see things they would never see without this opportunity.
Well, and that was our goal, to introduce them to the legal system. We know that a number of these kids actually are teen court volunteers on a regular basis, but this takes it to a different level. This gives them the opportunity to actually learn from experienced attorneys and find out what it would be like in the real world situation for them.
And can they ask them questions, you know, more detailed questions about the day-to-day activities of being an attorney, I would assume?
Yes, and these attorneys are actually volunteering their time not just to help with the workshops, but they are going to the high schools on a regular basis, meeting with the advisor and these kids that have formed the team. In fact, I was at a meeting just this morning and we were talking about this program, and 2 of the Key Club members from Eastern Wayne High School were there, and they said, "Miss Bennett, we've already signed up for that. We can hardly wait to be a part of this mock trial competition."
Well, doing these unique programs like this, Selena, is going to be one of the things that continues to grow our community and continues to take our youth and lead them down a positive avenue, which is exactly what we need. And that's exactly what communities and schools, that's their goal.
Well, and that's what we are to do. I see us as being the glue that kind of holds some things together and reaches out and pulls in these different resources. You know, so our goal for this particular activity was reaching out into the legal community. You know, another project down the road will be focusing on the business community and moving in another angle. But we're really excited, and what I'll have to do is to come back in the spring as we get closer to this competition.
Bring some of the volunteers, the attorneys and the
Yes.
youth. That'd be fantastic.
And Tanya Davis Barber, who is the president of the Wayne County Bar Association, and who is also one of our new assistant district attorneys.
Right.
She and Shelby Benton have been working very closely with Joyce Cunningham at our central office. Joyce Cunningham is the social studies advisor, and so, you know, we certainly could not do this without the correlation and the cooperation of Wayne County Public School System.
Of course. Y'all make a great team. Well, you've got another event taking place on February 22nd. Tell me about that.
February 22nd, we're having an event that we're calling Have a Heart for Kids. It's an opportunity for us to do 2 things. The first thing is we want to raise an awareness of our successes from the past year. You know, we've had a lot of really good things to happen in the past year. It's been a busy year, and so it's time for us to bring in community leaders, civic leaders, educational leaders, as well as just friends of communities and schools. Anybody that would like to attend, my goal is to have at least 150 people. It is going to be at Bethel Church. which is on North William Street.
Okay.
And the reason we chose Bethel Church is they are a partner with us. They work with us very closely in recruiting mentors for Goldsboro High School.
Wonderful.
So they offered us the facility. They have a great facility at their family life center.
Right.
So at 9:30 on February the 22nd, we're going to celebrate and we're going to talk about our goals for the future, and hopefully we're going to raise some funding for this upcoming school year, because believe it or not, grant cycles will be ending
That's
in
right.
June, and we will start another academic year, and so we want to be ready.
Wonderful. You have got so many things ahead of you for the next year, and being able to reflect back on all the accomplishments
Yes.
of communities and schools from the past year, that's a great time to do
And
it.
hopefully by the end of March, we will be accredited by our national office. We're also in the middle of our national accreditation process.
Well, lady, you've had a busy year for
It's
your
been
first year in this role.
It's been a busy year. It's been a good year, but it's been a very busy year. We've undergone a lot of fine-tuning in an effort to become a stronger organization. You know, you learn as you go through any process, and that's what the accreditation process is all about. It's becoming the very best organization that you
Right.
can be. And anytime we're working with kids, we don't want anything any less than being the very best that we can be.
But we've got some fantastic volunteers in our
We do.
community and civic-minded people that want to give back and want to
Yes.
help, and I see that many of them have joined your efforts.
You know, one of the things that I guess I am so impressed by is in this community, you've got a lot of different organizations competing for the same pot of money, so to
Exactly.
speak. But you put aside that competitive nature when it comes down to really working with the children. And we have people from every walk of life, from businesses, from churches, from the civic community, and all of them come together to do what is best for the kids in Wayne County Public Schools. And that's a lot to
yes.
be thankful for.
We are one of the most collaborative
Yes.
communities in the state of North Carolina. We hear that all the time.
And I truly believe that. I was at a director's meeting in another county a few weeks ago, and as I sat back and listened to some of the challenges that they had, I thought, we are really fortunate that we have
Yes,
a
we are.
community of support, and that's what Communities in Schools is all about. Our mission is to surround students with a community of support, empowering them to stay in school and achieve in life. And when you have people that are willing to give of their time and energy to go into the schools, to be a volunteer, to be a mentor, to contribute financially to the success of an organization, that's half the battle.
Oh, absolutely. It sounds like you're well on your way. And give us a last-minute recap of which schools Communities in Schools is in.
This year, we were fortunate enough to be able to expand from 2 schools. We have traditionally had staff that we're calling success coaches at Goldsboro High School and Southern Wayne. This year, we received money and were able to expand into the middle schools. So we moved into Mount Olive Middle, Spring Creek Middle, Grantham, and Brogden Middle. And, you know, as a former middle school counselor, you know, my belief
That's where your heart is, isn't
that's
it?
where, you know, I love high school, but my heart is with middle school.
You saw for 20 years those challenges that took place there.
I did, and I really believe that we can strengthen our high school programs by picking up at the
Right.
middle school level, forming those relationships with kids at middle school, and then moving into the high school area.
Right.
Every one of these schools have a unique program. We have quality staff in every school. The people that are working as our success coaches are people who are experienced educators.
Makes
So
a difference.
it makes a tremendous difference. They have a background where they have been not only trained through Communities in Schools, but for most of our coaches, they've had years of experience in the public school system.
Right.
So they have the opportunity to take that expertise that they have had and transform it into a new experience. And you know, every time I walk into one of these schools, a principal tells me another success story.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's just very rewarding to see all of the positive things that we have going on.
It certainly is. Well, now you all are housed in the Chamber of Commerce
That's
building.
correct.
which is located,
308 North William Street.
and you also have a new website, a new
Yes,
look.
we do.
Tell us about your new website so we'll know where to go.
We have a wonderful new website. It is www.wayne.communitiesandschools.org. It was designed for us by Gene Jackson, who is one of our new success coaches at Southern Wayne.
Wonderful.
Gene is a former Wayne County Public School technology guru.
Yes,
He can do
yes.
anything. And he is constantly tweaking and adding to and updating our website.
Well, that's wonderful.
Teen Court is also linked to that website.
Okay, so if someone in the community would like to volunteer and become a part of Communities in Schools, they can go to this website and contact you?
They can go to the website, they can get information from there, they can contact my office.
Give us your phone number if you would.
Our number is 919-735-1432, and they can contact me at sbennett@ciswayne.org.
Wonderful. Well, Selena, thank you so much for being with us. I
Thank
myself
you.
have learned so much and so proud of what you all have accomplished in the last year.
Thank you so much.
Best wishes for the future.
Thank you.
Well, if you want to learn more about Communities in Schools, visit Selena's website. She gave you that information earlier. And you know what? Take part. Become a volunteer. They need mentors. They need your help. Thank you so much for being with us, and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television.
Well, happy birthday, Oprah. I just wanted to say that. Today's her birthday. She's 58 today, the 29th of January, and it's Tuesday, right?
Yes, it
All right,
is. All
thanks for
day
being
long.
with us, right.
All day long. Well,
All
give
right.
us a trivia question,
Oh.
Wayne. You haven't given us one today.
We'll do that. I know.
Just to make us smarter individuals.
Okay. Good luck with that. What's the maximum number of digits allowed on a credit card? So on your credit card, I didn't know that. I thought they were all the same. But apparently there is a maximum number, which would indicate to me that there may be fewer or more than what
thought
would
they all had
normally
the
be.
same number
I
on
thought
them.
they did too. It's the maximum number of
I would
digits
say-
on a credit card.
20?
What do you think?
I don't know. I said 20.
I know,
What do you
I know,
think?
I know. I'm talking to them. What do you think? She thinks 20. We'll find out in a minute.
Somewhere around that.
All right,
between
now,
15 and 20.
not going to have time to do it today, but there's something called collective nouns. Collective nouns is a description of a group of whatever, a flight of stairs, a gaggle of geese, a herd of cows. Tomorrow, I want to mention to you some that you probably never heard before.
Okay.
Okay.
Give us a hint. One off your list here.
All right, you know what a ferret is. A ferret is like
Yes.
a weasel, or a ferret is
Yes.
or vice versa. There is a group of ferrets. It's called a business of ferrets. Now,
Really?
Yeah, and
Would
I've never
not
heard
have
that.
expected that.
And I've heard the term a string of ponies. You ever heard that?
No.
You have several ponies. Well, like I said earlier, I'm a fan of the old westerns, and I've heard that term used before, a string of ponies. How about, have you ever heard of this? I've heard of this before, a hand of bananas.
No, I can't say that I've heard that. A hand of bananas.
A hand of bananas. And the bananas individually are called fingers
Really?
as they're harvested from banana trees.
Oh, the trivia from Wayne Alley.
Love it. Anyway, how about this? A smack of jellyfish.
I bet it feels like a smack when they sting you.
I'll have more tomorrow, okay? That's collective nouns. That's coming up tomorrow. And a lot of this information is taken from a book, and I'll tell you the name of the book tomorrow, because if I tell you today, you'll go out and buy it. And you know all these, so
That's
tune
right.
in tomorrow, because after you read about it, you won't be interested anymore.
He's going to leave you hanging just a little bit.
I'm going to leave you hanging till tomorrow. Tomorrow being Wednesday, of course, the 20th of the month, and I hope you join us then. The answer to today's trivia question, the question again was, what is the maximum number of digits allowed on a credit card? And the answer is, you were close, 19.
Really? 19.
Under guidelines set by the International Standards Organization and the American Standards Institute, cards issued by American Express have 15, those by MasterCard and Discover 16, and Visa will have either 13 or 16.
Interesting.
I never knew that. So, they set standards saying, well, you can't have over 19 because it could get ridiculous.
Yes,
it really could.
Yes, it could.
And you can hear that kind of information and more silly things like that every day, Monday through Friday, here on WGTV Today. So join us again throughout the day. The program repeats at noon, at 5:30 p.m., and again later in the evening, as well as, that's every Monday through Friday, as well as online, right?
That's exactly right. And if you have events or things happening in your nonprofit organization that you would like for us to share here at the program, make sure you email it to
WGTV
at
waynegov.com. What she said. WGTV at waynegov.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you just want to email us for anything, just to say hi, just say, hey, I like the program, hey, I don't like the program.
I'd like to see this, I'd like to learn about that.
I want to see this, I want to learn about that. And if you don't like the program, don't send anything. We'd love to see you and talk to you. Go ahead and email us, WGTV at waynegov.com. And also join us online. You can find the repeat of any program online. We archive these programs. Go to waynegov.com and click on the Facebook, click on the YouTube site, and go to our archives. Or you can go to the city site,
GoldsboroNC.gov, and you can click right on the YouTube icon. It'll take you straight to the playlist.
So until tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, we'll see you then. Until tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.